Welcome, everyone, to the 11th edition of the ROH Podcast. I am your host, Caden Katanis, and joining me this week is Sky, Fanatos, and Kaylin. Say hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Meow.
Alright, that's good to hear you all. I hope everyone's had a good week.
Yeah, not bad.
Largely manic.
Sounds good. Alright, before we get to anything super important, I would like to remind everyone that if you have any ideas for what we should talk about on the podcast, to send it to me. I would be more than happy to read and talk about it on air. I would like to also note that this week we're going to be doing something a little different than usual. Instead of all the news and the fun stuff in chat and talking about the general Zelda stuff and dramatic post readings, we're just going to kind of go over the highlights of the week on the site. And kind of, give our opinion on it and talk about it, bunch of fun stuff. But the big thing is if you like us kind of having a conversational, joking podcast where we tend to get off topic and ramble about the most bizarre things, or if you prefer what we're about to do, there's going to be a poll in the tavern that you will have to vote in, and we'll see how it goes.
Sounds interesting.
Does sound interesting.
Seems like a good idea. So make sure you listeners respond to the poll.
All 12 of you.
To vote.
First thing up on our discussion for the week, the reception. Or the reception for the Fallen, I believe is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that have not been paying attention, it started by Merrick after the whole Aquaminus incident, but it really didn't take off as well as we thought until a few days ago when, well, all hell broke loose. Kaylin, since it kind of happened when you started posting, you want to kind of go over what exactly happened?
Pretty much what was agreed upon behind the scenes between Jonathan and myself was that we were going to bring in the Brotherhood of Thieves and kind of help tie them in with the Circle of Eight in a way to kind of go where the Circle of Eight really can't, into Termina and spy on Alaric or steal from him. Haven't really worked out all the details, but I thought I'd give them a good opportunity to just go in there and see, get people to RP together and everything like that. And, well, what we didn't really tell everybody was how we were going to go about doing this. And a lot of people freaked out. Yeah. I wasn't in the chat, but I was kept abreast of what was going on in there, and it apparently was not good.
Oh, it was something else.
Yeah. So anyways, the monkey wrench was thrown, and the misdirection was that SG, her character, was walking around at the funeral, stealing from people, just blatantly out in the open, pretty much just walking around going, well, I'm going to do whatever I want. So she did a lot of that, and so we tied that in as a way to get at Nock, or Zoelica's character, however you want to say her name.
I just call her Zello.
Yeah, Zello. Well, we tied it into framing her with SG's thefts, and then Jonathan would step in and offer the guild's services to our guild for a cost. Well, SG didn't know. She freaked out. Merrick, of course, is trying to protect his little RP character girlfriend type thing. And so he's freaking out. And Caden's freaking out because his daughter just died. And so everybody just sort of had a spaz attack. And yeah, but it was a lot of fun, in my opinion, because I got a lot of people posting, which is what you're supposed to do in RP.
Well, yeah. And I will agree that you definitely got a lot of attention really fast on that topic.
Oh, yeah.
As all of us can attest. I think we're all involved in that topic in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh yeah.
but the problem with it was that, as you said, no one really knew exactly what was happening, and yeah, things kind of got kind of haywire in chat, and it kind of showed up in RP because no one knew what the hell was going on.
Oh yeah. So it's like out of character. A lot of people were worried because nobody knew what was going on. In character, you had a whole group of upset people being trapped in a room all of a sudden with rumor of a thief going around.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting to see how Naim, however you pronounce her, Niam,
It's
is
but yeah, nobody pronounces it right, so it's all good.
It's going to be interesting to see how subjects view her in the future after this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you I wasn't anticipating a lot of it. I kind of just figured that, yeah, there would be some people freaking out and real quick, but I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't going after SG's character, so she'd gotten off pretty quick and easy, and then I'd gotten Zell and things would have kind of calmed down a little bit. We anticipated Cam kind of freaking out just a little tiny bit because it's his girlfriend, but yeah, everybody just kind of went crazy with that, and everybody being locked in the room suddenly became like a dungeon, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It was just supposed to be ask people, are you missing anything? Are you good? What's going on?
Oh yeah.
Trying to identify people, but it became like the Holocaust gas chamber, and everybody's freaking.
And
I guess it's a case of it's like a room full of already really upset people. Suddenly they're like locked in, hearing rumors that a thief is going to be in there. Half the nobles getting pissed off because it's like offending their dignity. Skylar among them. Fun.
oh yeah. And one thing that I don't know if you were involved or heard about it was that there was also a big spat about what exactly the reception was. I believe, Aaron, you know a little bit about what happened in chat. I think it was the day before all this broke out. Because everyone, before all this broke out, the whole reception had been a bit of a dud compared to the whole Aquamenus thing. Because a lot of people were confused exactly what this was.
Yeah.
Because apparently everyone was under the conception or idea that it was a party, when Merrick thought it was more of a a view on the people that died, which kind of inspired the whole toast he did on
Like a memorial service?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, Aaron, do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
I think what Greg/Marek was trying to do was create a like a sort of memorial feast that you kind of see in Lord of the Rings. I think it's in the Two Towers, I can't remember, where they're like, oh, all these guys died, let's like toast to their death and like help them pass on to the next life with like memories and stuff. So it wasn't supposed to be like a kind of festival, yes, let's all get drunk. It was supposed to be kind of we're all gathered here today, like brothers together and sisters together and yada yada yada, to remember those who died. So it's supposed to be quite a sorrowful affair, but designed to bring the people together. But I think at the moment, a lot of people just thought it is now a masquerade / feast.
Yeah.
And Greg got a bit annoyed about that.
I thought he was going for like a whole Viking celebration type thing, like, oh yeah, they're dead, but they're off to Valhalla and maybe join them kind of thing. Because considering his background's a pirate, I was like, well, maybe that's where he's going with this, but I don't think the nobles are going to get that.
Yeah. And I had thought it was more of a, hey, we killed the dragon after all, let's go celebrate thing.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody thought it was.
Oh, yeah. And it didn't really help much that he kept talking about an orgy afterwards, so...
That must have been in chat.
Oh, it was. It was in chat. Like, every other day, he was like, oh, yeah, and after reception, there's going to be a huge orgy. I think Greg...
And yet we still had a turnout.
Oh, yeah. I think Merrick was just kind of kidding around about that, but knowing him, you don't know. But yeah,
This is true.
yeah, the reception. Oh, go ahead.
I always assumed that orgy thing was a joke.
I hope it was. The 1 week Greg isn't on here to talk about it, and it's mostly about the reception. It's kind of a shame. But yeah, the whole reception turned out a lot different than I think any of us could have expected.
It's kind of, I don't know. I know a lot of people got like really excited emotionally, and like apparently there was a lot of heat and things like that. But I think kind of something maybe to pay attention to is that's the nature of RP. That to me is the fun of it, is you never know what's going to happen, and you've got to roll with the punches, and how would your character react to this? And you know, Caden's explosion was totally in character for him.
Oh, it was totally in character and not at all planned.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't know. I understand that a lot of people got very concerned very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but maybe I should have done a little bit better out of character, you know, just at the beginning of the post saying, guys, there's a plan behind all this. Don't freak out. But yeah, I didn't really think about it. I was excited to get John in on something and have the guilds form up together. I did mention it in the Circle of Eights guild, but I don't think people really got too clear a message, because I was still doing a lot of back and forth with John about how it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I think people, maybe we got to realize that it's a lot of fun in games. It's not, anybody has no nefarious plans to just all of a sudden, you know, kill your character without your permission. You got to ask for things like that, and there's out of character planning that goes on, and hopefully we can all just relax and know that we're being respected by our fellow members, and no one's going to do something totally crazy without our permission.
Yeah. And
I'm sorry to anybody that freaked out, by the way. I just thought it would be kind of fun way to get the two guilds together, and John and I had a good time planning it. It's not going entirely to the plan, but it's going there.
Well, my whole thing about it was that, like I said, I didn't know anything about it, and the way you posted it, it just seemed a little off that Neve was worried about these thieves when all this other shit was going on. And Caden's reaction to it was more along the lines of kind of what my reaction was. Like, the fuck are you worried about this thievery for? You know, I didn't think anything of it. You know, I was just thinking, oh, she's just kind of doing something, going along, you know, what she wants to do. But, you know, I didn't really think that far into it. And
yeah, no, I totally get that. I think it's just a different perspective for each character given their background. She was raised surrounded by nobles where things like this happen, and people are not focused on the loss of life. They're focused on, how does this affect me, and can I get away with it, and what's going on, and you know, and who knows, maybe that necklace or whatever was stolen with sentimental values to somebody that's no longer alive because of the dragon attack. But her perspective in this is, I'm supposed to be a good shepherd of the kingdom and of the people, and I'll deal with this, and I'll make it, you know, make sure everybody's happy. That's pretty much her protocol since ever, as a people pleaser. So you'll notice she also doesn't have a lot of emotional stuff going on. I think Merrick was the only one that's actually seen a little bit of that, and he had to push her pretty hard to get it. When she has her own private time and she's away from people, she does go through the grieving process, but right now she's just completely got to get this stuff done, you know, she shuts down the emotional side of her. It's very compartmentalized.
Right. And I don't know, like you said, I think the whole thing could have worked a whole lot better if more people had known, or if you had just at least said there's a plan here, just play along. But I kind of want to.
I don't know. I didn't think it turned out that bad. Perhaps because I wasn't really paying much attention, but I kind of watched it and people were reacting to it, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't think the things. I mean, it's boring if you like do like an RP and then like plan everything out.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what's the point? The whole thing of me me and Ben's and Austin's character Zane in the clinic, that went from hi, I'm turning up to hi, I'm killing you, hi, I'm not killing you, hi, hostage situation, hi, place is burned down, and then the end result was Zane actually remained alive. And even I told everyone I'm going to try my hardest to kill him, and well, I suppose I could have done and I would have done, but I didn't. But it didn't happen, and I didn't expect that to happen. Zane certainly didn't expect that to happen. I'm pretty sure the other guys that were in the thread weren't expecting it to happen. I'm pretty much sure they kind of gave up on it.
Well,
so I think what happened turned out like, wow, okay, that everything went weird there, but it actually kind of turned out pretty good, I thought. So I think that's a good example of when things can happen well, and I suppose reception is something that people weren't expecting, because you don't expect something to like that to happen in that sort of thread, if you know what I mean. I mean, right. Alaric goes into the clinic. He's
shit balls Alaric.
Yeah, he's just a bomb waiting to go off, and then he's in the same room with a guy who just tried to blow up the most iconic building in Termina. That's not going to turn out well, but how that turns out is down to how well we RP each other. The whole reception affair is, it's a feast or a wake or some kind of whatever it was supposed to be from Greg's point of view, to some kind of lockdown, don't anybody move, someone in here, and then it turns into a very kind of like Cluedo-esque sort of affair. And I think it's like, I didn't sign up for this. I only came here for some wine, to eat some dragon, and then I'm going to go off and mince around the castle, not to be interrogated as Miss Scarlet with the pipe in the ballroom or something like that. So yeah, I think people were taken by surprise because it wasn't what they originally signed up to do. But I don't necessarily think that's always a bad thing. I just think you need to be not necessarily a good RPer, but I think you need to be open enough to say, right, okay, this is a situation I've now found myself in. I need to try and assess this rationally.
Roll with the punches, basically.
Yeah, and just like kind of just go with the motion, which I think it kind of started to do. I think it kind of... I don't think it was a hack job. I don't think it turned out too bad.
Here's the plan, and decides, they're going to go and try and disrupt them, or even if that doesn't happen intentionally, there'll be factors you forget, like with the clock tower. Zane and them had a plan, but they didn't count on other people being in the area, which entirely then changed what would have happened or what did happen. So it's like, even when you make these plans, they may not go to plan, whether intentionally or accidentally.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be off writing my own book. I don't need other people.
Well,
the other people make it the best.
It's definitely true. But on the flip side, there is something nice about having a plan that comes together relatively well. You know, something you plan for weeks and months and nothing unexpected happens. I don't know. I guess there's a little bit of a feeling of accomplishment when that happens.
Like when you plan something.
Yeah, when you plan something out, not to the T, but you know, you have a big plan and you got an ultimate goal, and it eventually happens the way you wanted it.
Sounds like how a festival should someday go.
Oh yeah.
Someday, please.
Well, in a weird sense, the whole Aquaminus thing happened basically how it was to be. I mean, yeah, it was not expected originally, but once it got into motion, nothing shocking happened. Well, on the grand scale of things, a few characters died that I did not see coming, but...
That's the thing. I mean, even with you think you've got a solid plan, yeah, okay, you've got the start settled and you've got the finish settled. Marek is going to bring in the dragon. Marek is going to kill the dragon. You've got the start and the finish.
Yeah.
You kind of see what the middle's going to be, but you can never really
expect
do it.
everything.
I mean, we could plan something, but then halfway through, some guy might just randomly turn up in a thread and
have their
blow it to
characters
shit.
killed. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like they might do it in such a way where they can legitimately be there and they can legitimately do what they just did. And you might think that doesn't fit with the plan, but I've got to now roll with this because what that guy's or girl's done is legit. I've got to react to it now. So even though you have a plan, it can still change, but the end result might still be the same. You might have to think, right, I've got to kind of curve. I've got to take a detour around this now to get to the same point. And I think that's what makes a good RP. The fact that you can try and like twist things and turn things while other characters are trying to push against you and try and get their motivations in place. So,
well, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I mean, I used to have a lot of guild houses blown up without my knowledge, so I guess I'm a little jaded toward not knowing what's going to happen, so...
And I did giggle when you said you didn't know some people were going to die that did die. It's David's character. You think it's going to live very long?
Yeah, I guess I should know by now that if David has a character, there's a good chance it will die sooner rather than later.
And I have to give a shout out to David because I love that about his characters. He is not afraid to kill them if it makes sense or in some other weird way it works. I like that he's able to let him go. I have a hard time letting my characters go, so props to you, David.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to plan out a character's death just like that, you have to have some balls to want to just kill off a character.
It is hard.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when I planned Than's death in RH3. I was to be my first character, which I carried on from 2. I didn't plan his death, but I wanted to start a new character, and Than was the head of a guild at the time, and I thought, right, I'm just going to have to try and kill him. So I eventually did kill him, but man, you get like sort of buyer's remorse. He's like, wow, I've done this, but I kind of wish I didn't now. Whereas David's just like, yeah, he's dead, let's move on to the next one.
Well, pretty much.
Which is sort of admirable in a way.
Oh, definitely.
Frustrating in others, but yeah.
He doesn't do it. He doesn't create characters just to die. I mean, he does build up a personality and a story and so on and so forth around that character.
Oh, definitely.
So he does put effort in, and that's what makes it more effective. I mean, if you just create like a random character, do some random bits, and then just randomly kill him off, it's not effective.
Oh,
Speaking of like killing your characters, things like that, quests. Characters can die on quests too, right?
The Lost Woods one, I think they can, because it's an RP.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mini quests you can't.
Yeah, mini quest and all that. One thing I wanted to ask about the quest, and I'm glad Kaylin's here to be because she just got out of that super long Lost Woods quest. And I was just wondering, whose idea was it for the quest to be linked with the RP like that?
I have no idea. That would probably...
Because
I remember when it was being planned, I think it was like a couple people... Like, it was something that was talked about and agreed on by most of the staff at the time. But nobody expected it to go for so long, I don't think.
Yeah, because I don't think... aside from Ben and Will, I don't think anybody was around during ROH 1 when we did the same thing, and the quest lasts that long. Because when I saw that part of the quest, I was like, this is going to be a world of shit for somebody. Somebody's going to be stuck in that quest for several months, and it's going to really piss them off.
We hold the record, I think, so far. 7 months in the woods.
7
Didn't the first group like get in and get out pretty quickly though? I mean it wasn't very quick, but like a month or so or something like that.
They did a really good job. I think it was like closer to maybe 2.5 months. They were in it pretty quick.
It was more than a month because I remember when we first decided on announcing the quest, I was worried that it might like cause problems for the festival and people being available for the festival. Mm-hmm. But we were all optimistic that the quest could be over by then. And there was about a month between quest start date and festival.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of the problem that we hit up on when we were in the quest is one of our original quest group members, Liam, he had some issues or something. At one point, we thought he said he was going to come back in a month. So we just kind of went on hiatus, like just posted where we were at, had a little RP between the three of us left, and he just never came back. So for about a month, we just spent waiting, a month and a half, and then finally we got permission to look for a replacement fourth, who happened to be Drake, and then we had to wait for Drake to get over there, and so that took us another month. So yeah, make sure that your people stick around if you start a quest, guys.
Or
and Liam, he's awesome. He did come back, but yeah, that took 2 months out of that whole quest time.
yeah, but
Yeah, I kind of ditched my quest.
But in the mini quest, though, you can be RPing somewhere else and do on the mini quest, which is nice.
yeah,
We
which
still
is
get XP, right?
Yeah.
yeah, which I think is the better way to go for it anyway, because that way you don't have a character tied up with a quest and stuck somewhere for months on end. I mean, I understand the logic behind RP quests and all that, because they're in two places at a time. How does that work? But at the same time, it might take a long amount of time and effort.
And
I don't know. I mean, like the quest is you're getting posts from it, so you're not really getting lagged behind in terms of like posts and stuff. I mean, Kaylin, right? Just to put in perspective, generated about 150 posts. So that's about so Kaylin got about 15 EXP from that quest just from posts alone, not from the rewards.
Right.
So I mean, it's quite a significant boost, that amount of EXP. 7 months. Okay, that's you missed out on a fair amount of stuff, but it depends on how you want to look at it. I mean, some characters don't care.
Well,
some little characters who aren't involved in the main plots might want to like go off, or have secondary characters go off and do it. But
yeah, it is a bit of a touchy subject because like I said, I was around when that was the thing in ROH1. I didn't like it one bit, and you get posts from the quest and all that, but I kind of like the idea of the quest just being a secondary thing while you're still RPing, and you don't get post count credit for the quest and all that, but you still get rewards. What do y'all think about it?
I always found one hard thing with the main quests with the big quest was just that, like, trying to figure out why a character would be over there or with those particular people. Mm-hmm. Whereas with the mini quests, it's like several of us have been throwing around the idea of, oh, it's a dream, or oh, it's an alternate reality. And then it makes sense for why a character would be part of it. Like, Meg would never be part of an actual quest in the roleplay. But in the mini-quest, we have an alternate reality explanation, which lets me say that, things were different for her, and she has a reason to be part of it.
That's cool. Which quest are you doing?
I think we are doing the sunken ship one.
Let's go.
Oh, we're doing that. I've already, came close to killing the crew.
Let's go over those real quick for people before you guys go into too much detail. Let's go over those real quick for people so they know what ones we're talking about, like the outline. Okay, I'll do it real quick. I've got it pulled up. So there are 3 quests. It's missing children. It's the easiest one. You can have 1 to 4 members in there, and it's about 2 weeks in duration. And the plot line is several children have gone missing in a Ruto village on the peak of Dragon Roost. It is your job to uncover the truth behind the mysterious disappearances over the last few weeks. It's beginner levels and puzzles, and you have to have some arcana. Sunken is an intermediate difficulty. It's 2 weeks long, and you can have 2 to 4 members. And the story is the Zora Council in Termina is offering a large reward for anyone that can successfully travel into a sunken trading vessel and retrieve an artifact of great value. They will offer little details and prefer those who don't ask a lot of questions. Get in and get out. You're going to need some minimal skills required, some range fighting and arcana. The ability to breathe underwater is a plus. I would imagine that's really helpful in that one.
I would assume so.
The last one is Cave of Ordeals. The difficulty is very hard. Group size 1 to 2 people. Entry fee. This is the one that so far is the only one that has entry fee, and it's 100 rupees. And you don't know the duration because basically they're just going to throw monsters at you. Located in the vast Gerudo Desert is a deep and foreboding cave filled with monsters. None know why it exists and what draws the monsters in. Legend has it this cave is nothing more than a test from the gods handed down to find a legendary heroes. You're going to need a lot of fighting skills, obviously, and note only one group may enter at any given time. To enter in a pair, the prizes will be held within or split down the middle. So anything you win gets split. Okay.
Works for me.
So you guys are on the sunken treasure ship 1, right?
Yeah.
How's that going so far?
Well,
We're shooting at a pirate ship at the moment.
so are we?
Are you?
Yes, we are.
Are you using your magical item use to bump up your attack?
Not yet.
Oh, do you have it? Do you have any points in it?
That is a really good question. I should probably check on that.
Because there's 2 options. When you're firing, Ben's done it brilliantly so far. I've got to hand it to him. You can choose between 2 types of cannon. One is a kind of more accurate but least powerful cannon, and you get like a bonus if you've got range combat. And then the other one is the main cannon, which does more damage but it's harder to hit, and you get bonuses from magical item use. So at the moment we've got Marek using the accurate gun, like firing with his because he's an archer, he can boost up his attack. Whereas Alaric has magical item use, he's using the main cannon, and I've got to try and influence like a magic in there because obviously it's magical item use. So I've just decided to, when the balls were fired, that he like burst them into flames, so they become flaming cannonballs.
Nice. Yeah, I need to check on that for mine because I saw enough to see that there are cannons and there are pirates coming, but haven't had much time to do anything else, and I know it's my turn to post, so...
Yeah, we've got Nathan is singing songs on the deck to inspire us.
Nice.
I'm torn between being true to Meg's character and having her panic, or just say, you know what, it's an alternate reality. Meg is a really determined 8-year-old who will start shooting cannons or whatever.
Related. Go on.
I was saying maybe she thinks it's a game.
I might do that.
It's like the cannonball game from Wind Waker.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Battleship.
You know what's really hard? In an RP battle where you've got allies and someone uses inspiration and buffs you up, it's really difficult to RP that because in our one, Nathan's like bumped us up by singing a song, and we've got like +3 to all our rolls now. But when I'm typing as Alaric, I've got to try and be like, for some strange reason, this kid's music is making me feel stronger. This is like,
Apparently,
how does that actually work? I feel more. I've got more morale from listening to this random kid singing on the deck that we
maybe you want to punch.
Well,
wait, maybe you can say Alaric wants to punch him in the face, and you're inspired to do that.
see, I actually have a theory for the magical use of music. Like, when people use music for inspiration, I've read books where there's some books where people can use magic through music and it can affect other characters' emotions, and people know about it in these books. So, like, you have some people who are like, no, stop doing that to me. So it's like, I figure it might be like that in our universe then. So you'll have some people who will be glad to get the moral, and then you might have some people who are like, woo, I have more confidence, and why are you doing this? Stop messing with how I feel.
Of
It's
course.
like catch-22. Depending on who you are, you'll be either be inspired or pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because you'll know that somebody's actually physically kind of controlling how you feel.
Mhm.
Puppet with no strings.
Right. Well, what about the other mini quest, real quick?
Oh,
Oh,
Cable Ordeals?
Yeah, Cable Ordeals of the missing children. Anything you guys want to talk about that real quick?
So
on-
far, missing children's. Sorry, go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead, Skylar. Go ahead.
Okay, so far, missing children for my group is just talking to parents and trying to find reasons why my particular character won't be talking to parents because that wouldn't go well.
And who are you in this one?
Karis.
Oh, goodness.
Hi, I'm Chris Hansen. Will you please have a seat?
Mhm.
Tell me what you know or I'll cut you because I don't have time for this.
Alright, what about the Cable Ordeals?
Cable Ordeals pretty much just throwing monsters at us. We have 4 of them right now attacking us, so that's fun.
Sounds
If you go
it.
in there, I suggest you bring roots or taunt with you because you will need them.
Sounds it.
That's pretty
Yeah.
much it. We haven't even made it inside the cave. We're just standing at the mouth of the cave still.
Understandable. Alright, well, anything else we want to touch up on real quick?
I don't know if anyone's noticed that the site's been going down
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
for a couple of times past 2 days. That's not anything bad happening. That's me doing some tweaking. I've made statuses saying I'm messing around,
Right.
but I'm not sure if anyone's noticed. I don't know if you've noticed if the forum is behaving faster or anything. To me, it feels faster.
It feels a little faster to me. Well, not much, but it's kind of noticeable. So,
Well, hopefully I've tweaked it so we don't get any errors or any crashing that's been happening.
Yeah.
Well, not fairly recently, but yeah, it's just to make it optimize it a little bit more. So hopefully it's a bit better for people to use.
oh, definitely. Anything to make ROH better is a plus.
This is true.
On the topic of site stuff, Satsuriku's back, and I think he was mentioning he's going to be doing something with the site page or something.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I just thought that was worth noting. It makes me happy to see that a lot of the older members who kind of disappeared have been
Coming back.
returning over time now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, Thanatos. What is the deal with Juan/Sat coming back, or do you know?
Originally, it was because for some reason there was like a virus, or I don't know if it was quite a virus, but something's been like doing something with our server and adding files and stuff to it, which wasn't too healthy for us.
Oh,
Which
right.
kind of prompted me to do the tweaking and so on and so forth.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I've sort of rectified that now, but it was originally Sat who kind of picked it up. And Will was telling me because Will and Sat talk a lot. Will was telling me Sat's
Will
been picking
being
up this.
Kiroku, right?
Yeah. And I was like, oh right, okay. And then he was just like, I'll tell you what, I'll just get Sat in here and he can explain it to you. So he came in and then Sat was like, how about I kind of rebuild the website and make a new website and have it do cool stuff? And I was like, yeah, go ahead. I don't have time anymore. So hopefully he's gonna put something together and we'll just see how it goes. I don't know what this means for the wiki. I'll probably have to ditch that idea now.
Well,
Or add it as a kind of add-on to the website. We'll just have to wait and see.
yeah, it's a wait-and-see project. Alright, well, I think that's about wraps it up for this edition of the ROH podcast. I would like to thank Thanatos, Kaylin, and Skylar for joining us. And I would like to welcome everyone to listen in next week. Maybe we'll have a guest. Maybe we won't. Maybe Maybe this will be a little sillier. Maybe we'll be more serious. You decide. Thank you and good night.